Welcome to my little guide about Poppy top lane. Today we will be discussing some item paths, the roles of Poppy in the top lane, and her abilities in detail. First of all, I will start with the abilities, since that's what everyone is going to use. Starting with her auto attack. Her auto attack is a shield that you throw. Thank God it's ranged. And it will land on the ground and you can pick it up. Now this shield has a pattern in itself. Every time you auto attack an enemy, the shield will land somewhere, and it's usually like 2 clicks from Poppy to the left. It doesn't matter which way you're facing. So if you're playing from this side, you auto attack this target. I'm gonna press S to stop the animation. It will land looking from this side to the left of Poppy. So if you're playing from below, it lands to the left. It doesn't matter where you're facing. Auto, it lands to the left. Auto, it lands to the left. Always 90 degrees. Like if this was a circle, it lands right there. Also in the range of Poppy standing to the enemy. So the closer you're standing, the closer it will land. The farther you're standing, the farther it will land. Poppy shield comes automatically back if you kill anything. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be a healing plant, a lighting plant, anything. Bonus tip: if you auto attack a dead Scion, like the corpse of Scion, the buckler will automatically come back. I think that covers everything from her buckler auto attack. Moving on to the Q. Her Q deals 9% max health physical damage to the enemies and slows. Pretty simple. There is not much to say about this. The only tip I can give you: if you Q and flash at the same time, my bad, the Q gets carried over. Don't do it too late, like the first time. You can surprise enemies like that. One of the combos you can always do to guarantee both hits. Q, ultimate. Perfect. W. W is also quite straightforward. You gain some passive armor and magic resist relative to how much magic resistance and armor you have. And if you successfully break a dash, you ground the enemy. Also, it gives you movement speed. And that's basically it. Bonus tip: if you ult while Wing, you can mask the initial ultimate. But I will show that when I get to the ultimate. E is also pretty straightforward. In my opinion, Poppy got nerfed when the top lane map was changed, because you just don't have any walls to play with. When you're playing under your tower, the only walls you can stun are these ones, and the enemy rarely stands right here while auto-attacking the tower. Also, this wall is very deceptive. I've lost a lot of encounters just trying to stun the enemy right there. On to the ultimate. Ultimate is quite straightforward. You charge it and you shoot the enemy out. Now we will look this more into detail because it has different interactions. Ultimate single cast is just a simple knock-up. It has quite a range. It goes till here if you hover over the ultimate. It has a bit of range. We can try it on one of the dummies. It still hits him there. And that's it. By the way, the ultimate does double the damage if you cast it longer. So let's say an enemy is quite low and he manages to escape, he's right there. You will deal double damage with the ultimate and finish him off. Now, let's say you're getting ganked and the only escape is you ulting people. While ulting, you can mask your ultimate with W. So you press W first and then ultimate at the same time, and people won't see the initial animation of your ultimate. Next, how to hit enemies. Oh, let me place this real quick. The ultimate, the farther you are, the harder it is to hit people, because if... Never mind, this one had a nice hitbox. I've missed a lot of ultimates just like this, and people start to wiggle and you never know where to go. The closer you are, the easier it is to hit people. In one example, Poppy's ultimate also has a hitbox behind her. So I want to ult this target dummy, but I also want to ult this target dummy out. I just charged my ultimate and aim in this direction and both will fly. So if you're ever in a position where they think they can't get ulted, just stand in between, close to one, and you will be able to ult both out. Always works. It also works if they're pretty close to your side. That's basically it. Now, I would like to talk about the role of Poppy top lane. You can play her quite differently. So, I've had the experience of 3 different playstyles. I'm currently a master, or you could say a low master Poppy top lane. I play Poppy as a split pusher sometimes, like 10% of my games, as a bruiser and as a tank. Let's say you're facing, I don't know, a Sion, which is not the best matchup, but it's quite doable. I then have to counter his split push. So let's say your team is winning and you are winning. If I'm up ahead, for example in tier 2, we've already conquered tier 1, I don't have any way to split because Sion just can clear the wave with 2 spells and you can't do anything about it. And this is where the split push items come. You rush Tear of the Goddess because you're going to be using your spells a lot. The Desired Boots, if they have a lot of magic damage and stuns, you go for the MR boots, the Mercury Strats. And your first item should be Hull Breaker if you're winning, or Hull Breaker second if you're going even. Now Hull Breaker deals a lot of damage to structures, and it's every 5th auto attack. So you stack 5 auto attacks against minions because you have to farm the wave anyways. And then with your buckler, you just go. Okay, I can't auto attack it. Just go and auto attack the tower, and it will instantly proc. Especially with those crystals, 1 auto attack makes the tower normally half-life. And then you stack again with the next wave and do the same. And the enemy top laner, let's say Sion, cannot clear your wave because you've enhanced the enemy, your ally cannon. For further items, I recommend just Sundered Sky. I don't really upgrade to Winter's Approach, just because you can, but it's quite cheap. It gives you health, it gives you mana. You don't really need it. If you're playing against a tank that refuses to die, just go for Black Cleaver. There are more important items that you can build, especially if you're ahead. Winter's Approach is only for survivability. Forgive me about that word, I don't know how to pronounce it. Then, Let's go on to Tank Poppy. Is there a matchup you think you will lose? Let's say you're up against a Teemo top. Yeah, fuck that. Range top laners. You just rush Boots, Hollow Radiance, and then whatever you like. Let's say you're losing the matchup. You're 0-2, you're not going any bruiser item. I will always optimize to what the enemy has and make myself useful in teamfights. Tank top lane is quite special because you can still do a lot, but not as much damage as a bruiser Poppy would do. And I would always prioritize into adapting my 3rd to 5th items to what the enemy has. I'm not counting the boots. In Teemo's case, I would go Force of Nature. If you really want to 1v1 him, this item completely destroys him. If you have something like Quinn, then just build simply straight up armor. Sunfire EG is good. Protoplasm Harness is also very good on Poppy in the later stages, once you have a lot of MR and magic armor.
That's everything, right?
Last and not least, Poppy Bruiser. What we want to build here is sustain. We rush the Tear of the Goddess, we stack it up, because we want to build Winter's Approach as a 2nd item. Boots, as always, optional. I always go from Mercury's Threads to Plated Steel Caps. I rush Sundered Sky. And then finally I build Winter's Approach. For my optional items, the most like oomph one that has that bit over the top is the Iceborne Gauntlet, because of the Sheen proc. Alright, my shield buckler deals a lot of damage, especially if it has a Sheen effect on it. And you slow the enemy on top of it. The slow from Iceborne Gauntlet also procs the upgraded Winter's Approach, which then gives you another shield. So this combination of Sundered Sky, Winter's Approach and Iceborne Gauntlet is quite nice, especially in prolonged fights or in chases. I added Trinity Force as an optional item if you're facing a ranged champion and you're winning. That's the condition you must have. You're winning that ranged matchup, like Queen, Teemo, anything that's range, but it's not Kayle. Because if it's Kayle, you straight up lose. Hullbreaker, also only if you're winning. Iceborne Gauntlet is always the best option, especially if you want to keep your lead. One quick last thing, for those who are wondering how my runes look like. I mostly take this set. I barely change it in this season. For me, the most important ones are Demolish. I always take it if you want more personal damage. Shield Bash. Conditioning is what I take the most. Bone Plating is only if I know I will get crushed, like Zed. Unflinching or Overgrowth are the ones more important for me. Mana Flow Band. Bonus mana, Poppy needs it. And Celerity, bonus movement speed. It's quite good. If you want to go more deadly, I recommend Coup de Gras and Triumph, or more haste. Tenacity and Slow Resist, the other two I don't really change, and more health, based on what the enemy champion is. Thank you for watching, and special thanks to Jason, who inspired me to try out the Hullbreaker build. Also, if you have any further questions, just write it in the comments. I will probably answer them all. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.